How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. This here is going to be a video on replacing your brake pads on the rear of your vehicle. Let it be, for this, in this case, is a Nissan Rogue 2016. I'm pretty sure all vehicles are somewhat similar. They're just harder to get to places for certain models and whatnot. But nonetheless, what you're going to start off doing is, before you lift the car up with the car jack here, you're gonna want to break loose the lug nuts. So that when you're lifting it, it's gonna be a little loud. Once you do that, you're gonna want to lift the vehicle up. Then you're going to go ahead and take the tire off. Once you get that loose, gotta watch for the lug nuts. You don't want to lose them. Although it is safe if you're missing one, maybe two to drive. Anything more than that, I wouldn't advise you drive your vehicle. I advise you get some lug nuts. Pretty inexpensive. Remove the tire, set it off to the side, or you can sit on it. You don't mind getting dirty. You can sit on your tire in case you don't have a little bench or whatnot. Now, as you can see, my rotor's pretty banged up. It's not as bad as I've seen others, but my rotors aren't the problem in this situation. It is my brake pads. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the brake pads out of here. And I believe I need a 14mm wrench. Why am I doing this the hard way? I got this. So now with this though, since you're gonna be putting it back here, you're not gonna want to, well, by hand, you should always tighten this up. You don't want to tighten it up with an impact gun. That's a no-no. You can snap the bolt, and then that's a whole nother issue you gotta deal with. So in my case, Jesus. All right. Break it loose. That one came out. The bottom one came out. The top one is a bit stubborn. However, there's always ways around the stubbornness. Ratchets are gonna be your friend. I ain't talking about ratchet girls.
You got Uber?
Yeah, come on. Uber, go.
Once I broke that loose, goodness. I'm gonna slowly take this out. Once you take this brake caliper out, you want to hang it somewhere. You do not want to let it just hang down. That's not good. Now, let me go ahead and show you what this looks like. These are my brakes. These are my brake pads. Right here and right here. This is barely anything right now. And that's why I'm hearing the squeaking on my rotors, because there's a brake indicator on there that tells you this is it right here, and I'll show you right there. And I'll show you when I remove it. There's a brake indicator that tells you when you need to change your brakes. This one is okay, still needs to be changed. That's why we got some new ones. And to remove your brake pads, you might need a flathead or just something to get inside to pop these bad boys out. If you don't, then you'll just be spending more time trying to get them out. It's not the end of the world. Sheesh. See that brake indicator? That's what the brake indicator is. And it's definitely past the brake pad. So yeah, that's why we're changing them. Because I'm tired of hearing my car squeal every time I drive. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the brake cleaner. We're gonna spray off here so we could do just that, clean the brakes. Let that dry for a little bit. Then you're gonna take the brake indicator, brake pad, and you're gonna slide it in. It might give you a little bit of a problem because it's super brand new, but all in all, it'll fit regardless. All right. It should fit like a glove. And if they don't, it's not the end of the world. Your brake caliper, when you apply the brakes, should push it in. And then you should be good. Now with this here, this bad boy got to get sprayed down too. You see this boot here? I don't know if you can see it well, but you need to push this back. They have a tool for this. They have the old school way to do this. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your old brake pad. So eventually I gotta get new rotors. But right now, this is just a tutorial on replacing your brake pads because I don't have time to do the rotors too. That's a little more in depth. You'd have to take this this caliper bracket out, which involves more tools, and I don't have the time for that right now. So the easier way is to replace the brake pads. It's less of a hassle. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take an old brake pad. Get yourself something like this. OEM tools. This little bad boy here. This is one way to do it. There's multiple other ways to do it. You're gonna take an old brake pad, set it there, and then I'm gonna spin this backwards. Once you spin that back, you should now be able to spray it again. Let's spray this bit. Oopsies. Usually what you do is you would normally have a type of lubricant that you lube these pins up with. I unfortunately don't have one. The brake pads that I bought, they didn't come with them, and I totally forgot to grab some. It helps for the next time you go to take them off. So now you're gonna tighten these up by hand. You're gonna end up tightening these up with the hand tool, a wrench or a ratchet wrench, not with a actual power tool. That's never to happen. You can cause a lot of problems and yourself a lot of problems by doing that. It's highly non-recommended. Only a moron would recommend that you do it with a power tool. Once you tighten this up, yeah, if this has any wiggle play, this has, you know, if you could take it out, that's a huge problem. It shouldn't, because this whole piece is connected. This whole piece is connected, so it shouldn't. However, there's probably going to be, see this little wiggle room? That is because the caliper, the boot is pushed all the way back. Then it'll obviously retract. When you apply your brakes, when you pump your brakes, then it should work. It should be back to normal. Just want to make sure that that's good. I want to make sure that this one here is good. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put on the tire. I'm going to do that too. I'm going to show you guys that too, because believe it or not, there are a lot of people that don't know how to put a tire on. So with that being said, let's put on a tire. I have my torque wrench. You're gonna need you one of these as well. I have my torque wrench here so that I can torque it to how it's supposed to be.
What's up, bro?
You. So after you tighten it up a bit, you set it down, tire's on the ground, and you just want to make sure that you tighten these until you hear a click. Boom. Now that's how you do the brakes. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the other side. Each side is a bit different, only because some sides may have complications, other sides don't. So this is the only problem that I run into right here. That's the brake line right there. That's the bolt that I need to get out. And this is the brake line that can't move. So I gotta loosen this up with hopes that it doesn't leak through, and then I'll be able to get this bolt out. So what I ended up doing was, I didn't remove the brake line. I was gonna attempt to move it, and then brake fluid started leaking out of here. So I tightened it back up, and I was able to put this in, no problem. I ended up taking this out, and I just slid it up, and then I was able to put in the brake pads the same way I did on the other side. Other than that, that's pretty much how you do a brake pad replacement. Thank you. Have a good day.